Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this lovely little hat, sun hat for babies and toddlers. It's nice and lightweight, made with a double knit wheat 3 yarn. A bamboo yarn would be perfect for this actually. You can make these hats in 3 sizes: 0 to 6 months, 6 months to 12 months, and 1 to 3 years. It depends on what size of hook you use. So for 0 to 6 months, you would use a 3mm hook. For 6 to 12 months, of 3.5, and for 1 to 3 years, a 4mm hook. It just takes 21 rounds, so they don't take long to make up at all. Let's get going. To begin, we're going to make a slip knot. Make sure that it's the tail end that tightens it and the working yarn that loosens it. And then chain 3. We're going to make 10 double crochets all into the first chain we made. So yarn over hook, insert into chain, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I'll show you once more. Yarn over hook, insert into chain, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So make another 8 for a total of 10 double crochets. And there is 10. To join, we're going to ignore our starting chain, and at the top of the first stitch into the V, slip your hook under, yarn over, slip through and slip through. And there we are. Now there's a wee gap in the middle. All we do is get hold of our tail and pull. And there you are. And obviously at the end we'll sew in that tail. Right, round 2, chain 2. The starting chain never counts as a stitch in this pattern. And then we're going to make, now the first stitch is, you've got your starting chain, and there you've got your stitch just to the left of it, or the right of it if you're left-handed. And you're going to make 2 double crochets into that stitch and into every stitch around. So first round we had 10 double crochets, and at the end of this round we're going to have 20. So here we are coming up to the end of the round. Now where our starting chain starts and meets the body of the work, that doesn't count as a stitch, so ignore there. We've got 1 stitch left, and we're going to make the 2 double crochets into it. So now we've got 20 stitches all the way around, and it's always worthwhile always just checking as you go along, see if there's any problems later. So ignore the starting chain. At the top of the first stitch, the V, slip your hook under and slip through, and there, second round done. For the third round, chain 2, and into that first stitch at the base of the chain, we're going to work 2 double crochets. next stitch we're going to work 1 double crochet, and that's the repeat all the way around. 2 and then 1, 2 and then 1. I'll meet you towards the end of this round. So coming up to the end of the round, remember that where the starting chain joins the body of the work doesn't count as a stitch, and we've done 2 double crochets, and in the last stitch we're doing 1. Ignore the starting chain, and at the top of the first stitch into the V, slip your hook under, yarn over, slip and slip. There. So that's us done round 3, and now we have 30 stitches. For round 4, chain 2, doesn't count as a stitch, yarn over, and into the first stitch at the bottom of the chain we're going to make 2 double crochets. One double crochet into the next, and 1 double crochet into the following. And that's the repeat for this round. You work 2 double crochets into one stitch, 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, all the way around. So I will meet you towards the end of this round. Coming up to the end of this round, again the starting chain where it meets the body of the work doesn't count as a stitch. So we've got 2 stitches left, just made 2 doubles into that stitch and ending with a double crochet in each of the last 2 stitches. And at the end of this round, you will have 40 stitches. So we're increasing by 10 each time. So we've gone 10, 20, 30, 40. Always worth just checking you've got it right. You ignore the starting chain, and into the top of the first stitch, slip your hook under and slip stitch to join. Oh, preferably without splitting the yarn. Right, there we are. That's round 4. For round 5, we chain 2, work 2 double crochets into the first stitch at the base of the starting chain. And in this round, our repeat is going to be 2 double crochets in one stitch, then 1 double crochet in each of the following 3 stitches. And we're going to repeat that all the way round, and I'll meet you towards the end of this 5th round. So here we are at the end of the round. Last double crochet, and we'll now have 50 stitches. So check and then join, ignore the starting chain, the V at the top of the first stitch, insert your hook under and slip through there. And that's us done the crown of the hat. And oops, knocking into things. And there, I've just looked at the screen and I'm completely missing it. Right, hopefully you can see there that we have made the crown of our hat and it's measuring 12 centimetres. I'll put in the description below about the sizing. So 12 centimetre crown for 0 to 3 months, 13 centimetre crown for 6 to 12 months, and just over 14 centimetre crown for 1 to 2 years. And we're going to be making half double crochet V's. So to begin, we're going to chain 1 and then make a half double crochet into the first stitch at the base of the chain. So yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Skip the next stitch and into the following make 2 half double crochets. Skip the next stitch and into the following 2 half double crochets. And that's what you're doing all the way around. Skipping a stitch, then making 2 half double crochets into the next. I'll meet you when we're coming up to near the end of the round to show you how to finish it off. Coming up to the end of the round, I've just made 2 half double crochets in one stitch, skipping the next, where the starting chain meets the body of the work doesn't count as a stitch. I want to make another half double crochet into the same stitch that I made the first half double crochet of the round. So into there, a half double crochet, and then at the top of the first stitch into the V, slider hook and slip. Oops. Without splitting the yarn, slip and slip. Now for the next few rounds we're going to work very similarly to that round. So chain 1, half double crochet, but this time not into the stitch at the bottom of the starting chain. We want to make it in between the 2 half double crochets. So you see this gap here, that's where we're making a half double crochet. And then we're going to make 2 half double crochets in between the 2 half double crochets from the row below. So again, we're not working into the stitch, we're working in between the stitches into there. And 2 half double crochets. Again, in between the 2 stitches. So continue like that, and I'll meet you toward the end of the round. Here we are coming up to the end of the round. I've just made 2 half double crochets in between the 2 half double crochets from the previous round. So we want to make 1 half double crochet in between the 2 half double crochets from the previous round, the exact same spot where we made our first half double crochet of this round, and then into the V at the top of that first half double crochet, slip our hook and slip there, and that is all there is to it. So you now want to make excuse me, another 6 rounds just like we made that one, and then we can work on the brim. So I'll meet you back once you've got 8 rounds in total of the half double crochet V stitches. So I'm just finishing off the 8th round using the V stitch half double crochets, join. So that's us got 8 rounds of the half double crochet V-stitches plus the 5 rounds of the double crochet to make the crown of the hat. Next we're going to do a round of single crochets, so chain 1, and in the first stitch at the base of the chain make a single crochet, and then single crochet all around, and we'll have 50 stitches. So ever since we finished the crown, we've not made any increases or decreases. So it's always been 50 stitches. And I'll meet you towards the end of this round. So there we are, that's a round of single crochets, and we'll have the 50 stitches. Then join with a slip stitch to the V at the top of the first single crochet. Now, next we're going to make increases. So start by chaining 1, and into that first stitch at the bottom of the chain, work 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet into the next stitch, 2 single crochets into the next, 1 single crochet into the following. So you get the idea. You're doing 2 single crochets in one stitch, 1 single crochet in the next, 2 single crochets in one stitch, 1 single crochet in the next, and you're going to work that way all around the hat, and at the end of this round we'll have 75 stitches. So I'll meet you towards the end of the round. And there we have that round complete, 75 stitches. Join with a slip stitch at the top of the first stitch. Now we want in the next round to make just a few more increases. If you wanted to have a wider brim, you could achieve that by making more increases than I'm going to suggest. But just be aware that if you make a wider brim, chances are it'll be floppy. And the way I like to do it is it's more like a bucket hat, and the brim holds its shape. So chain 1, and into the first stitch at the bottom of the chain, work 2 single crochets, and then single crochet 14 stitches, make an increase with 2 single crochets into the next stitch, and repeat that all the way round, and then at the end of this round you'll have 80 stitches. So I'll meet you towards the end of this round. There we are, that's that round done. And again, join with a slip stitch to the top of the first stitch. And now we've got 80 stitches, and you can see how the brim is going to be sticking out to give baby that wee bit shade. So next you're going to work 4 rounds, just working single crochets into every stitch, no more increases, unless you're choosing to make a wider brim. But remember, chances are if you make it much wider, it'll be a floppy brim. It won't hold its shape. Right, so I shall see you once you've done the 4 rounds of single crochet. Very last single excuse me, crochet. And remember, where the starting chain meets the body of the work, that doesn't count as a stitch. Just snip off the end and then pull the yarn through. Just get a needle. Now I'll show you how I like to finish off. If you've got a way that you like, that's absolutely fine. You do you. This is just how I like to do it. I have 2 yarn needles, a blunt-ended one and this sharp-ended one. And it would usually be my blunt-ended one that I would use to finish off. But I can't find it, so I'll just cope with this sharp one, although it's not quite as easy with it. Right, so this was our first stitch in the round. This was our second. Under the V of the second, I'm going to insert my needle and pull through. And then I'm just going to pull and shuggle. Sorry, if you can see that, shuggle and pull. And then just into the back loop of the last stitch, I'm going to insert my needle. I'm missing my blunt needle because I don't want to split the yarn for this part. Right, I think that's it. I'll see, I've got myself tied in knots. Right, so pull and shuggle and pull until you've got an invisible, until you've got an invisible join. Am I happy with that? Yes, I think I am. Now, run the needle through to the wrong side of the work. And this is the bit that I would then use my sharp-ended needle, because when I'm sewing in my ends, I like to use the sharp one because you can split the yarn. And because you're splitting it, it holds the yarn much better. Because I find nothing more annoying than when you've lovingly made something but the tail ends pop out. So, oops, I'll just do that a wee bit more. So you want to sew it in securely. And once you're quite happy, you can snip off. There. So there we are. That's the 0 to 6 month size. And I'll just show you one I've made. This is the 1 to 3 year size, just so you can compare and contrast. And it's just the same pattern, but using a larger needle. Right, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you have a go at making one of these cute little hats. And bye-bye just now.